Welcome to another episode of Dad's Rules with Kevin Belzer, and today we are on location in Mesa, Arizona at the Menace Underground, the MAF podcast room. So if you're curious and watching this on YouTube and Spotify, wondering why there's a sign behind me that does not say Dad's Rules Podcast, well, that would be why.
Which is fine.
Oh, no, we're perfectly fine with it.
We like it here.
Yeah, they've got like sound things on the wall and this cool
and
little
this,
neon sign.
Again,
And then if we
cool background.
If we stay still long enough, the lights overhead go off. But it's all good. They got like 3 other lights on us, plus the neon lighting us up. So good times. We are rolling into the new year. Depending on when this post, this is probably going to be in January when this episode runs. But I want to go over the new year and New Year's resolutions that people have, because I kind of have a problem with this. Do you have a problem with New Year's resolutions?
I feel like a lot of people that make them don't keep them, and I think that they talk about that every year. You hit a certain, like, the end of January, and everybody's like, If it's even then, middle of January, I don't actually know what the statistical cutoff is, where they're like, yeah, we're done, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I have a problem with it, because I think what people do is they take that Thanksgiving all the way through the new year off from like their diet. So they'll be like, well, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start exercising more. And you're like, well, wouldn't it make more sense if you started the habit earlier rather than waiting? People are like, yeah, but then I'm going to miss out on pumpkin pie and pecan pie and whatever other pie and mashed potatoes and turkey and stuffing and all the good foods, and then all the treats. Let's not forget all the
yummy goodies.
Yeah, everybody's making sugar cookies with icings.
So many cookies.
Yeah, smeared
Cake,
on top of them.
pie.
We had somebody drop a tin off cookies to us.
They were so good.
Yeah, so you look at that and you're like, but I'll have to give up all that. My question would be, well, how committed are they going to be come January to start their goals?
I don't think it has anything to do with the cookies, but it's a contributor, I think.
I think it's a problem because I think that they're setting bad habits rolling into the new year that are likely not to change.
Yeah.
I know the gym memberships all go up for January.
Yeah,
like if you want to go to a gym. Which
I was going to say, I didn't look up the statistic, but there is a statistic of gym memberships.
It annoys everybody that goes to the gym on a regular basis. I do remember that I have all the equipment now, so I don't need to go to the gym. But when I used to go to a gym, it would drive me nuts because I get in there and I'm like, every treadmill's taken, all the weights are taken, and I'm like, okay, I just need to make it through the next 2 to 3 weeks. If I can make it through the next 2 to 3 weeks, there's going to be nobody in the gym again.
Yeah.
Yet, that EOS or whoever it is going to get their subscription money for the whole year. And it seems to be the game plan. Because you notice that the only time of year that the fitness companies ever run ads is November and December.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, and maybe like a week into January, but then they'll stop again. And then we're back to the pharmaceutical commercials.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the only thing that runs it the rest of the year is some drug that will either kill you or give you diarrhea.
Yeah, that seems to be a common symptom. I don't know.
I'm just calling it as I see it.
crack up over those commercials. I'm like, oh, not another one.
Yeah. So the new year, is it going to be the new year, the same you? That's going to be the topic of today. The new year, the same you. Or is it going to be a new, improved version of yourself going into the new year? When I started working on my goals for 2023, when do you think it was? Was it this week, the week before the new year?
No.
It was actually October when I started working on my goals in vision for the new year. That didn't mean that I stopped working the rest of the year, because that's the other problem we're dealing with right now, because here it is the week after Christmas as we're recording this. This seems like nobody's working. There's nobody around.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people.
There was
that could just be Arizona, though, maybe.
I don't know. There was like no traffic on the road.
Everybody wants their white snow, so they go snow.
They could be actually trapped in another state at the moment. Because
that's actually, we joke, but that's actually true. We know a couple people that did get trapped in another state until Saturday.
Right.
So yeah, that's actually true.
So what I want to try to do with this episode is give people a couple ideas of why what they're doing isn't working and what we can do to correct that. So that's going to be the whole focus of this episode. So what you're probably currently doing is you're saying, the beginning of the year, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds. and I'm going to make more money. I'm going to be better with whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you're going to set that date for January 1st. The way it traditionally works, and I don't know if you knew this, but it's like 87.44% of people that start a goal at the beginning of January, they fail at it.
87.44?
And did you know that 90% of stats are made up as well?
No, shocker.
So I don't actually know what the number
that's-
is, but I do know it's high. It's somewhere between 80 to 95%. I've heard varying numbers on
Sounded like a good number, didn't it?
Yeah, it sounded legit.
It was so specific.
That's why it works. Because if you gave like 80%, people are like, oh, you made that up.
That's
But
made
if you
up
give
stat.
87.44, people are like, oh, wow, that's very specific. How could that be wrong? That's got to be the real number out there.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Right, so we're going to go with that number.
It's in the range of the numbers. It just sounded like a better number.
Yeah, we know it's somewhere between 80 and
90%.
80 and 95% of
95.
people that start and actually maybe 97%. I did hear,
Okay, yeah.
I've heard it as high
confirmed
as 97%.
Yeah,
Somewhere between 80 and 97% of people fail at their
that's a
at their
high
goal.
number.
It's a very high number. The reason being is that they don't have a really good plan going into it, and they probably didn't do proper prep work going into it either. We're using holidays and other things as an excuse why we just don't get better. Because you know that you can still eat cookies, but if you go from having a sleeve of Oreos down to like one or two.
A serving is 2.
Right, so what somebody could do is, let's say from October to the end of the year, instead of eating a sleeve of those, or a whole bag of Doritos, or 3, that they went down
3.
to. Yeah, they went down to maybe having just some.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's still good for your diet,
No, but if you give less,
but it's a start.
yeah.
So what if they start there? So let's have a ramp up time to where you just start getting better.
Yeah.
On it.
Make small improvements, make it less intense.
So that's from an eating standpoint. You start with something like that. From a exercise standpoint, instead of going in and saying, I'm going to lift 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is insane. I work out, but I don't even do that. Instead of doing that, what if you said, I'm going to go for a 45-minute walk 4 times this week? Not anything crazy. That's like every other day.
Or start out with once a week if you're really challenged by it. Just do something more than what you're doing.
Yeah, I heard
then
somebody
work
tell a
up.
story that there was somebody that they worked with that they were very out of shape, and what she did is she said, I'm gonna run as far as I can.
Yeah.
And initially she could only go to the end of the block. And then she goes, then I'm gonna walk home. And then she just kept increasing it.
Just kept running.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually interesting.
Within months, she was at half marathon level.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
But what she did is she didn't go into it going, I'm gonna go full bore, 2 hours,
Yeah, she
2
said,
miles.
I'm going to do what I can and go from there
Yeah.
and do more every day.
If she'd started out going, I'm going to run a half marathon, which is a little over
No one
13
does
miles.
that.
A little over 13 miles. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a half marathon. And I'm going to do that every day. There's no way she could do it. Now she runs marathons. That's what she does. She runs
That's
marathons, and I think her next thing is she's going to do is ultra marathons, which are like 50-plus mile marathons. So instead, she took it as a bite-sized chunk
Right.
and then got into it. I think that unfortunately, we're already at the beginning of the year, so we really can't do that. Or can we? We actually can. So instead of going in hardcore on your goal, that since we're already in the new year, and some of you have already quit, let's reanalyze our goals and go, okay, I know you wanted to lose 50 pounds, but what if instead we set a target of, hey, this week I'm going to eat a little bit better. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to write down what I eat. And for exercise, I'm just going to go for a walk. Nothing crazy, just a walk. Throw on your headphones, listen to Dad's Rules podcast. It's the only podcast out there other than the one behind me on the wall. MAF
Yeah.
podcast for
Right.
those that are listening. But just listen to a podcast, go for a walk. That's it. Just go for a simple walk and take it as a piecemeal instead of going hardcore in it. Like I said, I would love for somebody to be ramping up into it, but since we're already in the new year, that's just not a possibility. So if you've already quit your goal, let's go start your goal again, but let's start it from a more realistic standpoint to where we're going to go just eat a little bit better. I'm not telling you got to give everything up, but what if instead of pizza and garbage every day of the week, what if you had it once or twice a week? Just start from
Have a slice of pizza and a salad.
Start from a small.
You'd say, I'm saying this as people that love pizza. We love pizza.
Yeah, cheap pizza, expensive pizza, doesn't really matter. I love pizza.
Pizza.
However, there's a good way to eat pizza,
Absolutely.
which is a slice or two, and there's a bad way to eat pizza, which is
Your story's most
oh my god.
hilarious.
Okay, so we're gonna have to tell the story.
You have to tell this story because it cracks me up.
So when we go back to April of 2022,
Yeah.
you were gone.
I was not at home. I don't remember where I was at, but I was
I
not
went
home.
and ordered a pizza. It was a margarita pizza from, I believe it was,
It's Gio's, wasn't it?
it may have been Gio's.
I think it was Gio's because that's what's
Anyway,
stuck in my head.
it was a margarita pizza.
Local New York pizza guy that's from New York making New York pizza,
Yeah,
which
so-
I like all pizzas, but that's just what this one was.
So anyway,
a favorite.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I get the pizza, and I'm like, okay, I'll eat half, and I'll say, which is way too much anyway, but I'll eat half, and I'll save for the other half. Well, I get through half, and I'm like, well, that was really good, and I kept going, and ate another slice, another slice, another slice. Next thing you know, the whole thing's gone. So then I look at the box, and I'm like, I'm feeling shamed at this point. So I take the box out to the garbage outside because I don't want her to see that I actually ate pizza. Take out the garbage outside, and that was the last time I'd had pizza for like
Months.
8
It
months.
was a long
It
time.
was 8 months I didn't eat pizza. I changed my whole diet the next day,
He did.
and I lost 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 pounds because of that. But I had to shame myself into doing it.
And well, I came home. This was unbeknownst even until this was days later that I found this out. But I came home and I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I have to make myself something to eat. I could have had pizza.
Snooze you lose.
Yeah, but I wasn't home. And then you ate the whole thing. That was fun. It made me laugh. It was just a funny story because
It is a funny story. and
that's how.
But the story's from the extreme because I went from full bore, here's all the garbage, to no garbage overnight. And I
Yeah.
lost all the weight because I just got rid of it all.
Yeah.
Because I'd actually hit my enough is enough. You
Yeah.
gotta hit that point to where enough is enough and you're willing to make a change. And that's what I'd done is I'd hit my enough is enough, stopped all the garbage, and started eating right, lost all the weight, got in incredible shape out of it. But for a lot of people, that's not going to work. What they're going to
No.
have to do is they're going to have to tailor it down.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Instead of having a candy bar or 3 every day or a 12 soda pack or whatever, you have
it
one
seems-
pop.
Yeah, if it seems like too much, start with something small.
I'm not asking for anybody to go extreme, and I think that what society wants you to do is go extreme and go, I'm going to go from I'm eating garbage, sitting on the couch watching Netflix to tomorrow I'm running a half marathon, lifting for 2 hours,
Eating salad and protein.
eating a paleo, keto, plant-based,
Yeah.
vegan mishmash diet.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, I'm saying, hey, just start somewhere. Just start with a little, go from there.
If you have physical challenges, if you're sitting watching TV, get some little weights and do weights while you watch the show. Just add something in. Just add, because, yeah, I've had times where I've been down with a physical challenge or whatever, and then I have to try to do something else or do something, because it's not always where I can go do something or whatever. So I've had to do alternative things. Lift weights while I'm watching TV.
Yeah, because the whole point of this episode was just to go, hey, look, just start somewhere. Start with where you're at and go from there.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Just start from where you're at, go from there, so that you do not have the same you a year from now and we're having the same conversation again, because guess what? A year from now, I'm probably going to do a similar podcast again.
Yeah.
To where, because that's just kind of how it works. And when we roll into a new year, that's when people reset. I personally don't. I'm always continually adjusting my goals throughout the year. I think that for me personally, I don't like the New Year target, but I understand that for a lot of people it works for them, or they think it works for them, and I guess a better way to say it. And they're like, well, that's the day. Okay, well, great. That's going to be your day. That's fine. But understand that October 13th or April 14th or September 23rd, those can be your date too. It can be any day. That's when you start don't give up on your New Year's goals because now we're 2-3 weeks into the new year and say, well,
don't say, oh, I've ruined it and scrap the rest of the year.
I see so many people do that.
Yeah. Pick
Where
the
they're like,
next day and go, what can I do differently today?
Yeah, they're like, oh, man.
If you fail again, the next day you wake up, what can I do forward today until you get forward?
Yeah.
Might be hard. You might fail 6 days in a row. You just go, all right, okay, I got to do something, and just commit to something small and then stay that small thing until you're like, okay, it's solid, and you feel a success, and then go from there if that's what it takes.
Right. So I think we've beat this horse dead. All right. So hopefully that you guys got some good stuff out of that. Until our next episode, I need you guys to review, share, like, comment, friends, enemies, like, whether you like the show or not. I'm just trying to make it grow. All right. So let's do that. And also, if you want to support us, we should, by this point of the podcast, have swag up of Dad's Rules. And I know you'd all look super swaggy in it. So definitely hit the website, link for that. Get some swag, be decked out in Dad's Rules. We got some cool stuff planned ahead on that. So if you don't see what you like, just let us know. It's probably in the works already. So until next time, go out and be the kick-ass adult I know you all can be.